My name is Shannon. Um, I had to do IVF, and I started, first of all, November 1st of 2022. I had to have fibroid removed because I had a large fibroid, and after I had the fibroid removed, I was able to start IVF, and I started my birth control pills on the 28th of January, and the 28th I started my birth control pills, and then February 12th I started to take the Lupron injections, and I had to do it in my stomach, and I did the injections every night, and then I had to go for ultrasound and blood work, and I did that, and then I had to start taking estrogen pills. I had to take, and I started taking my pills. I think I started taking them in February, and then also on February 8th I had to have polyps removed from my uterus, and I did that. That was my second surgery, and everything went well, and I went home a few hours, and then
Fancy Feast. Chef inspired, cat adored. Every smoky broth, every impeccable pate, every delicious detail brings you and your cat closer together. Fancy Feast. Love is in the details. Choosing a treatment for your chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can be overwhelming. So ask your doctor about Botox.
and then a week before my embryo transfer, which my embryo transfer was March 11th, and I was really excited, but a week before that I had to have a stitch put in, because to make sure that everything took. And then March 11th at 9 o'clock, I went to my clinic, and I was really excited, and I did an embryo transfer, and they transferred 2 embryos into my uterus, and the procedure was easy, but I was excited, and I watched the thing on the camera, and then 4 days later,
At Spectrum, we know how much you depend on the reliability of our products and services. Now, we've taken a new step forward.
Tuesday, I took my first pregnancy test.
Service issues before they become a problem. If you're affected,
March 15th, I took my first pregnancy test, and it was negative, and I was a little upset because I was really hoping, but then everyone on my group told me that, I have to wait maybe one more day. So I took a pregnancy test on Wednesday, March.
what about a plan that covers doctor visits?
Emergency care?
I took a pregnancy test on Wednesday, March.
With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find claim for $10.
March 15th, and I had a very faint line, and I was so excited because I just wanted this so much. And then the next day, I took another pregnancy test, and the line was dark. And it happened to be that one of the girls that I work with at work, she had to do some things too, but she got pregnant at the same time as me. And she found out that Thursday that she was pregnant. And that was kind of the same time that I got the faint line. And I was so excited because I was finally, hopefully was going to be a mom. And Saturday, March 18th, I had a digital pregnancy test, and the pregnancy read pregnant, and I was so happy. I was so happy. I can't even tell you how happy I was because I was going to be a mom. The transfer worked. Everything was going to go great. And March 23rd was my pregnancy blood test. And the nurse told me that my level was 1,000 and something. And I was so excited. I got the news at work, and one of my coworkers was with me. And I was so excited. She said my hand was shaking because I was so nervous talking to the nurse because I was afraid that she was going to tell me that I wasn't pregnant. And I hugged one of my other managers at work, and I was so happy to get the news, and everybody at work was so happy for me. And it was kind of weird to get that news at work, but I did get it at work. And me and another girl, we were almost like a week apart, and I was really happy because I was going to be a mom. And then me and my husband, our anniversary was March 31st, and I had my first ultrasound. I don't know if I have it here, but I think this is the one.
I'm not saying another word to you. You're trying to trick me. I've had my cards out on the table this whole time, and I'm not going away. So you just think about that. Real hard. So I got Jackie's address from the archives resource that Saul gave me access to. It's a powerful server that basically takes a screenshot of literally everything on the internet. Look, I found this. Jackie Reeves was Zoe Blackwell.
But that was my first ultrasound picture. I don't know if you could see it, but there was two of them. There was two sacs. There were two embryos, both of them implanted. I was literally pregnant with twins. I was so happy. I can't even imagine. I was so happy, but I was in shock. And I went to work and I let everyone know that I was having twins, and I was so happy. It was the best day of my life. And then unfortunately,
Just listen. I don't think it necessarily means anything that Jackie and Zoe knew each other. But if Jackie
Tuesday, April 4th, I started to bleed. I was going for a walk and I started to bleed, and I kind of felt something and I noticed something, and I was so scared. And as soon as I got home, I called the nurse and I was so upset. I was devastated. I was crying. I didn't know what to tell anyone. I didn't want to lose the babies. I just found out I was pregnant. I was so happy. I went through so much. I just think that I deserve to be a mom. So that Wednesday, I went back to the clinic and they did an ultrasound, and we seen a flicker. One of the baby A had a flicker of the heart, and I was so happy. And baby B was a little bit behind, but that was okay because I realized, she told me that sometimes the second baby can run a little bit behind, so I wasn't worried about that. I had a ceramic hemorrhage, one of the hemorrhages that sometimes you get when you do IVF. And I was relieved, so I went to work, and I didn't say anything because I just felt the babies were okay. And then a week later, the 13th, I went for another ultrasound. Unfortunately, baby B wasn't there anymore, but they wanted me to come back for another ultrasound, and I was okay with that because baby A was doing great. Baby A had a heartbeat of 124. They had no concerns about baby A. Baby A was growing. I mean, I was upset that I lost one, but I was okay because baby A was doing good. And I wasn't going to tell anybody right away because I decided, I'll tell people later eventually. But at least I'm going to have one baby. I never told my mom that there was twins because I was worried. She said sometimes you can't call them twins until we hear heartbeats. And baby A was doing great. And then I went back a week later on April 20th, and baby A had a heartbeat of 161. And baby A was doing great. Baby A was progressing good, doing wonderful. Here's baby A if you can see it. This is the last picture of baby A. Baby A was doing great, growing. That was the picture of the heartbeat. Baby A was doing great. Here's the picture of the heartbeat. Baby A heartbeat. And everything was going great. And I was so happy. And then, sometimes you look on social media and you see things, and all of a sudden I was watching these things about miscarriages and stuff, and so I had my first OB appointment on May 1st, but they didn't do an ultrasound. They told me they probably wouldn't do an ultrasound. I was supposed to go back for a really long ultrasound on the 13th of May. No, May 23rd. I was supposed to go back. May 23rd was my appointment. And it was a couple weeks off. And because I didn't get to hear the baby's heartbeat, I was kind of worried. But I put it aside and I told myself, baby was fine. Everything was great. Baby was doing good. And I'm just worrying for nothing. But I had this funny feeling that something was wrong. I just had this feeling and it wouldn't go away. I guess it was a mother's instinct. So I booked a private ultrasound for May 9th. And I decided to do it before Mother's Day because I was gonna surprise my mom and let my mom see it because she was really excited about being a grandma. And I said, okay, I'm gonna hear the baby's heartbeat. Everything's gonna be fine. The baby's gonna be fine. But I still had this feeling that there was something wrong. This feeling that the baby didn't have a heartbeat and there was something wrong with the baby. And I even went for all my blood work because I was going to find out the gender of the baby. I was 11 weeks, so I was planning, hopefully, they said it would take 2 weeks to get the results, but I was okay with that. In fact, I was going to bring a cake to work, and I was going to have them take a piece, and guess what I was having? And I just thought that it would be really cool to do that at work because I wasn't going to have a reveal party, but I knew everybody at work was happy for me, and I knew that I was going to be working through my pregnancy, so the baby was going to kind of know everybody. So I thought it would be kind of cool to do this gender reveal at work. And every time I seen the girl at work that was pregnant, I just had a feeling that my baby wasn't okay. She found out she was having a boy. And I told myself, okay, if she's having a boy, I'm probably having a girl, right? But I wouldn't have cared either way, boy or girl. So I went on the 9th. And we went to West Seneca, me and my husband. And I was like, okay, I'm finally going to hear the baby's heartbeat. Everything's going to be fine. Everything wasn't fine. The baby was not alive. When she pulled when she put the thing on my stomach and we seen the baby was just laying there. The baby wasn't moving. At 11 weeks, they say the baby's supposed to be moving. Baby's supposed to be doing somersaults. Baby's supposed to be active. Baby was not active. And then she told me that she couldn't get a heartbeat. And she asked me when my last sonogram was. And I told her 3 weeks ago. So I just knew right there that my baby was gone. And there's the picture. There's the picture when the baby... wasn't alive. And that was so heartbreaking to get that news, especially a couple days before Mother's Day. I loved that baby. I loved that baby with all my heart. And I was planning baby shower and deciding get the crib and get a bassinet and hopefully get our own house. And I had all these plans. And I was so happy. And then the hardest part was to realize that when I went back to work, the girl that I work with, she was still going to be pregnant, but I wasn't. How do I do that? How do I work with someone who's pregnant? But I like my job. I like everyone at my job, so I didn't think of leaving, but I knew it would be hard for me. I could even go to work and tell anybody at work what had happened. I texted my manager and just said that there was an emergency. The next day I had to have a D&C. And I had to be at the hospital at 11. And that was so heartbreaking to know that they were going to take the baby. But they had to. The baby was gone. What I had was a miscarriage. How does a baby have a heartbeat of 161 and then doesn't have a heartbeat anymore? But I guess that's life. And sometimes we have to accept what happened in life. And when I had that D&C, during the procedure, I bled a lot. And I needed a blood transfusion. So I had to spend the night in the hospital. And that was one of the hardest days of my life. And then I had to figure out, how do I go back? How do I go back to work? How do I go back to living my life? And it was hard working at work and being around my coworker that was pregnant. That was not easy. It wasn't easy to be around people at work because everybody knew that I was pregnant. And everybody on my Facebook page knew. And everybody was still thinking that I was going to have twins. But before I went back to work, I texted my manager and I let him know what happened. But that wasn't easy. I mean, people don't talk about miscarriage. So what does people at work tell you? Do you bring it up? Do you go on as your normal activity? And nobody at my new job knew what to say. I mean, they were all sorry and everything, but we didn't really talk about it.
Dr. Hamilton is perfect for me. Search, read reviews, book a doctor on ZocDoc. So you're saying she attacked you? Yes. And why on earth was she doing
But
Miss Reeves?
it's okay, because I'd rather work be normal. I know everyone cares, but miscarriages is really hard to talk about. But I'm doing another embryo transfer, hopefully August 9th. I will not give up. I want to be a mom, and I will not give up. Yes, I will be worried if I'm pregnant. Every day I will be worried about miscarriages, but I'm going to try not to worry about it, because if I want to be a mom, then I have to fight, I guess, to be a mom. Actually, tomorrow I'm having another surgery to make sure I don't have any scar tissue from the D&C. So I have to have another surgery. This will be my 4th surgery. But I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to be a mom. I will fight as hard as I need to fight to be a mom. I will do the injections again. I will do the progesterone. In fact, the progesterone really didn't bother me. I will do the Lupron, which I hopefully start on Tuesday. I will take the pills again. I will work as hard as I need to work to be a mom. I'm not a quitter. I guess this baby just wasn't meant to be. I would have been 20 weeks on Tuesday. I would have been showing by now. I would have known what I was having. Life would have been totally different. But it didn't turn out that way. But I just want you to know that if you had a miscarriage out there, you cannot give up. Do not give up. You cannot give up. We must never give up. We must keep fighting for what we want. I want a baby, so hopefully one day I'm going to be holding my son or daughter in my arms. When they're born out, we'll have to have a C-section, but I'm okay with that. So hopefully the doctor will hand me my son or daughter one day, and I will get to hold them in my arms, and I will get to bring them to my job, and they will get to meet everybody in the family and everyone. So don't give up. Keep on fighting. Sometimes we have to fight for what we want in life. So don't give up. Isn't that nice?